in North Richmond, another old person in North Richmond died yesterday. Mr. Charles Payne, which Henry don't know, which was Henry's neighbor, okay?
Oh, you did?
Yes, he passed yesterday, Henry.
Oh, wow.
I know it. I just thought about you on that one. And so he was elderly and he was in convalescence. So, you know, we all have to go at some point in time. And he had a good life, and everybody know him as having the tow trucks in North Richmond. And if you need a quick tow or something, Mr. Payne was Johnny on the spot. So that's about it, what I have to say about that.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
To hear that.
And so one more note is that all the founders of North Richmond, which were mainly Black people, have passed on. So that's why I felt like when we put the mural up on 5th Street Market, it was very important to have some type of Black heritage up there and pronounce Black heritage, because Black people's the peoples that built North Richmond. My father and my mother being two of the people. My father built 3 houses in North Richmond. My father had his own business in North Richmond for 50 years. And I would like to see some of that heritage kind of recaptured and lived on, you know, in North Richmond.
Thank you so much for your comments, Cynthia Jordan.
You're welcome.
Do we have other public comments?
Robert, I have a public comment. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Hello?
Yes, please proceed with your public comment, Marena. Thank you.
I just wanted to announce that we're having National Night in person. It's going to be the kickoff. Normally they do it at Target store on McDonald Avenue in Richmond. This year we're going to do it at Shields Reed Community Center in the back. We're going to begin at 5 o'clock. So we're inviting everybody out. And we also have Saffron mobile ordinary people that are coming out. And that is a sanitation, a hygiene program that the Kaiser nurses get in their mobile van and they come out and do an obstacle course with the kids and they teach them about hygiene. So please come out and support us on August the 3rd, 2021, the first Tuesday in August, National Night Out.
And Marena, August the 3rd, where at?
At Shields Reed Community Center, which is 1410 Kelsey Street in Richmond, California, 94801.
And what time?
At 5.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Do we have any other public comments? Okay, hearing none, let's move into our law enforcement agency reports. I see our great lieutenant from the Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Joe Buford.
Yes, good
Lieutenant
afternoon.
Buford, please give your report.
Hello, everyone. So for the month of June, we had 309 calls for service in North Richmond. It's pretty much stabled out. You know, as we talked last month, we knew that there's a lot of things that was going on, but as this month, we haven't seen as much violent activity, knock on wood. We did get down and do some quality of life issues down there for a lot of abandoned vehicles and vehicles that are sitting around, you know, with expired registration. We were able to tow approximately 40 vehicles out of North Richmond last month that was just either abandoned or expired registration or junked. Other than that, there's nothing much more going on from the sheriff's end. So I'll take questions from the MAC board and then citizens.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Buford. Let's get questions, starting with the board. Dr. Clark.
Yeah, thank you, Lieutenant Buford. My question is that those homicides that you have reported on, most recent as well as some of the past, was there any apprehension of anyone on any of those homicides?
As for the county area in North Richmond, not that I'm aware of, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Seeing no other questions from the board. I see one from the board secretary, Cynthia Jordan.
Yes, Lieutenant Buford, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So like, last meeting, we had touched on the homicides going on in the community and in the area. And so, Richmond Standard, that's my news source. So Richmond Standard had been, like after our meeting, they had been posting articles about homicides all throughout Richmond and stuff like that. Then you had talked about it was happening in Richmond, Rodeo, and Central. And then turn around, then we have a homicide in North Richmond. And I just wanted to bring that up because it's something that has been going on for a minute. And it's crazy. Because my understanding, the people that's committing the crimes are committing crimes on the wrong people and really don't know why they commit the crimes in the first place. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or concerns for Lieutenant Buford? Okay, hearing none, Lieutenant Buford, thank you for your presence and your report.
Thank you very much.
Next, let's move on to, I see our CHP partners, Officer Abernethy. Officer, please provide your report.
Good evening, good afternoon. It's been a long time since I've attended one of the meetings due to the Zoom. Fortunately, Janie and Felicia hooked it up for me to where I could attend tonight. So just first of all, probably just introduce myself. Officer Abernethy with the California Highway Patrol. I'm the community-oriented policing officer representative out here in North Richmond. We specifically pretty much work with the traffic enforcement and removing abandoned vehicles, stolen vehicles, which there are always abundance of those. So it keeps us pretty busy. There's not much to report right now. I can get back to you guys more next month. We'll start keeping more stats. But if there are any questions from the community or board members, yes, ma'am. Miss Brown.
Good evening, sir. First of all, let me thank you guys for coming out and supporting the North Richmond Community-wide walking school bus.
Yeah.
But there continues to be an issue with traffic because those long trucks continue to come down in our residential area. And we were doing the school route from summer school to summer day camp. And these long trucks continue to come down Chesley and Fred Jackson Way. So how can that be addressed? Because we're trying to get speed bumps now on Chesley Avenue. So how can we address that issue? Because that's been an ongoing problem here in North Richmond. I understand it is a mixed zone where there's light industrial. However, the infrastructure cannot handle these large trucks in our residential area.
Good question. So I'm sure Mr. Rogers, we've discussed this before. I've been out here for the last 3 years, and I know this is an ongoing issue with commercial trucks. I think one of those issues are the routes that they have to take are pretty much all cut off to commercial vehicles. So the businesses that are on Market and Chesley right there, they use those roads to enter onto, and they can't, there's not an access point from San Pablo Avenue. So they start running into this jurisdictional code that they can't go on all these different roads. So I know that we've discussed this in the past. I don't really know the solution. Right when I got out here, I was citing some of those vehicles until I realized that wasn't being very fair, because we don't have another option for them to get to those businesses, especially like on Market. I know a lot of them come down Market to get to those facilities around Soto, before Rumrill, that are in North Richmond. So, Mr. Rogers, do you have anything to add with that?
my understanding is that there are prohibitions on size, a certain size of trucks on Chesley and Fred Jackson. And there's a sign indicating such on the entry. And we want to enforce that.
So I can enforce, so even with the trucks that are trying to access, because there's not an access route for them to get to the businesses that are commercial businesses with the trucks and everything right by the railroad tracks on Market. I can definitely start enforcing that, but I don't see how they're supposed to access. I mean, it's a facility with big rigs and everything that drop off at those points.
If we have a situation where a truck has to access a business and that's the only possible route, then it would be understandable if that one, it should comply with the law. But my expectation is that when trucks are passing through on this route, it's being utilized as a shortcut or a cut through. If there are really situations where trucks have absolutely no other option vis-a-vis the parkway, then we have to revisit what routes there are and what the law is. So it's new to me to hear that there are trucks that have absolutely no other option but Chesley. But if that's the case, we'll need to discuss that with engineering and see what we can do different.
I think Chesley is definitely an area that I could probably pay more attention to because there aren't those same businesses right on at the end of Chesley towards Rumrell. But I will say that the access points to those businesses on 6th Street, down Market in between, I believe it's 6th and Rumrell, those are businesses that have commercial trucks. And there isn't an access route for those trucks to get to those locations.
Mhm.
So I do have an issue as far as issuing citations on that when they travel down Market, because they're gonna, every which way they go to get to those locations, it's against the law. So I don't see how that they have commercial trucking businesses in those locations if there's not a accessible route to get there. Chesley, I don't find that being the same issue. I can definitely look more into it and then get back to you, Robert, and we can discuss that.
Thank you. I see a question from Cynthia Jordan.
Yes, I would like to I have two questions. Marena, you know, we've dealt with these laws and stuff about streets and trying to put in stop signs, red lights, and speed bumps, and there's always a catch-21 in the picture. As far as the county side of North Richmond, all our guidelines, we have to go by the guidelines that the county has set for the county. And I don't know what's going on with the city of Richmond, but we have to go in there and change guidelines and stuff like that and deal with stuff that's directly, North Richmond is directly affects North Richmond. And we have to stop going by these county-wide guidelines and try and focus on some North Richmond guidelines, what pertains to this community, what pertains to this little city, okay? And my second question is for Officer Abernathy. You have any car seats?
Do we have car seats?
Yeah, you have.
You know what? I'll look at look back at the office. I know that when Officer Jeffers was here, I don't know if you remember Officer Jeffers.
Yeah, sure.
He definitely had. He was trained with the car seats, and he had brought a lot down here. So I'll see if we have any more at the office and see if I can't.
Okay, fine. I'll have your phone number. I'll give you a call.
Okay.
All right, good enough. Thank you.
Cynthia,
Thank you so much.
Robert, can I respond to Cynthia for a hot second?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Cynthia, I understand what you're saying, and it's totally appreciated. And I have talked to the city mayor, and I've talked to the engineering department for the city of Richmond as it relates to putting speed bumps on Chesley Avenue. And there's a form that we have to complete for the Shields Reed Neighborhood Council. So that's in the process and what have you. But again, as it was stated by law enforcement, there is still a problem with the trucks and the route. That needs to, I mean, we as a community, like you said, we do need to sit down and advocate more as it relates to public safety and traffic, because that's a problem. I mean, those trucks, I understand San Pablo don't allow them to come in, but at the same time, the streets, the infrastructure, the residential area is not designed for these heavy commercial trucks. I mean, it's just not. Because if you're making, going down Chesapeake and you're making a left turn onto Fred Jackson Way, and then you're trying to make that little sharp right onto Gertrude, it's just totally impossible. I have seen and photo a truck being crushed, a small little commercial motor, I mean, a normal motorist being crushed. The truck because of some commercial truck trying to go on to Gertrude, I guess, to get onto the parkway. So, I mean, I know this is considered light industrial, so it's a mixed zone, but at the same time, we have to really look at what it looks like for traffic, because you got all of these new businesses that are coming into North Richmond, and yet you got all of this commercial. Wow. So it's a problem.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions for Officer Abernethy?
Good to see everybody.
Okay. You too. Thank you, Officer Abernethy.
Thank you, officer.
Okay, with that, is Richmond PD on the call? Okay, hearing none, let's move into our agenda. The first item is to welcome a new MAC member. Unfortunately, that MAC member is unable to attend tonight, so we will push that item until next month. The next item is a very important one.
Robert.
I'm sorry, Dr. Clark? Yes.
Yeah, who is the new MAC member? And what seat is the person occupying?
Her name is Dulce Galicia, and she's occupying the seat that's been empty for more than a year.
Was that the U seat?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait a minute, Robin, is that the youth seat or is that Karen's seat?
No, Karen's seat is occupied by Princess.
Okay,
So
okay.
this is, yeah, okay. So now let's move into item B. Now I'll go ahead and I'll set this up and there will be ample time. I think Cynthia, you probably have something to say about this as well.
Perhaps.
Okay. As many of you know, we had a tragedy in the community last month. We lost someone that many people here, myself included, knew. He was often a fixture for years at Shields Reed. Everyone who knew T-Bone loved T-Bone and respected him. He was someone who especially had the ear of the youth. His leadership and his reputation were very strong in North Richmond, and tragically his life was taken at the Shields Reed Park, where he spent so much time helping so many people. Now, on a request from the North Richmond MAC, we have drafted a certificate of appreciation in memorial for his life from the county. Now it's in the packet for the agenda tonight, and it'll also be mailed a handsome copy to his family. I want to read the text of this for the benefit of everyone here as well. This is for, now I referred to him as T-Bone, that's how many of us referred to him, but his name was Shedrick Lamar Williams. So in memoriam, his award reads, known lovingly throughout North Richmond and beyond as T-Bone, Shedrick Lamar Williams was a deeply respected leader who made it his business to positively impact the youth in his community. He always took the time to impart his wisdom and support to children and young adults in North Richmond. T-Bone led a local renaissance of youth sports,
Hey, Chloe,
using his strength and his reputation to persuade outside teams to again come into North Richmond to compete, thereby giving children a chance to play baseball and basketball with other teams. T-Bone also is the founder of the acclaimed Hood Day, which brought North Richmond residents together for a day of games, food, fun, and unity. T-Bone tragically died at Shields Reed Park.
tell your mama to come to the
I'm
door.
sorry. Dr. Clark, could you please mute your computer?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you. T-Bone tragically died at Shields Reed Park, the very place where he spent years positively touching so many lives. T-Bone lives on in the futures of the countless youth whose lives were enriched by his leadership. With condolences and gratitude, the North Richmond Municipal Advisory Council confers this county award to Shedrick Lamar T-Bone Williams. Could we all please have a moment of silence for T-Bone? Okay, with Dr. Clark, I'm gonna go ahead and mute your computer. And with that, do we have Cynthia Jordan? Would you like to say a few words as well, please?
Yes, I have a few words, but I really want Lynn Abrams to have a few words, so she's more closer to T-Bone's age. I have children that's probably around T-Bone's age, but T-Bone came into North Richmond, and like we all hang out, and we all love to hang out in the projects and stuff like that on a daily basis. But T-Bone, he hung out, but his mind and interest was in other places. So T-Bone took it upon himself to work with Carla Oroso and organizing the ball leagues like baseball, basketball, because that was dominant in North Richmond for years and years to come. And T-Bone would pick up the children, make sure they got to practice, make sure they got to their games. And at one point in time, the outside teams did not want to come into North Richmond because they said our children were too bad and our children like to fight. So T-Bone changed their mentality and got them interested in being a team player, you know. And so other teams from other parts of Richmond started coming to the North Richmond ballpark. And we did have successful seasons as far as ball is concerned. But one thing stands out about T-Bone. One day we was walking in the projects, and every day this little woodpecker be pecking away. And T-Bone, he looked up, he said, Cynthia, you know, that's a downy woodpecker. I said, well, T-Bone, how you know that? He said, because my teacher taught me that in elementary school. And I never will forget that. And I came home and I looked up the bird, and sure enough, it was a downy woodpecker. But for him having that knowledge, because I said most of the children and teenagers and youth in North Richmond had their head in one place. That's getting high and listening to loud music every day, okay? So T-Bone had a mindset that was like me. In the hood, I'm part of the hood, but like my baby say, I'm not of the hood, okay? So that's that. And that's what I have to say about T-Bone. He was a very loving person. I helped take care of his mother when she was sick, and he was so devoted to his mother. And T-Bone was a good person. And like I said, his life was taken too soon.
Cynthia, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is Lynn Abrams here with us?
Hi, yeah, I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. Cynthia, that was very beautiful, and I think you said a lot. And I think that what I want to share is that T-Bone he risked his life. I'm just really emotional right now, but he risked his life trying to provide a better life for children that weren't even his. He went to other sides of Richmond where he could have lost his life, where his life was threatened. And he never gave up. He fought for those kids to be included in sports where they didn't want North Richmond children to play. And more importantly, he was an active father, husband, and grandfather. And so I want to give him credit for that. And I also want to thank his wife, who's on the line, for supporting him. And this loss is so big for North Richmond. We really lost a lot when we lost T-Bone. And I'm really sorry for being emotional, but he was just an awesome guy, and he took life chances for our children in North Richmond. And I pray that we get this murder solved, not only for his family, but for the children of North Richmond as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. You really said quite a bit there. And yes, everyone who knew T-Bone knew that that was a good man, a strong man. Is T-Bone's his wife, family, anyone would like to share some more remembrances?
This is his wife, Shanell. I just want to thank you guys for acknowledging him and all his community work and what he's contributed to the community. The community was his life work and his dedication outside of his family. It's a tragedy that's felt by our family deeply and by the North Richmond community. And I just thank you guys. I thank you for the award and thank you for appreciating him and his life and his work.
Thank you. Certainly the whole community's heart and love is with you and your family as you cope with this terrible tragedy. Are there others who would like to share?
Robert, could I share real quickly, please?
Most certainly, please do.
I remember when Mr. T-Bone was awarded recognition from the Men of Valor Contra Costa Probation Department. And it was such a privilege to witness him receiving his recognition, because I know he loved coordinating the basketball, the Black Panthers, what have you, or the Panthers Little League, or the Giants baseball teams here in North Richmond. You saw the love, you saw the dedication. It was mentioned both by Cynthia, yourself, and his wife, and Lynn. He had a love not only for the children, but for his community. And it was really great to see his commitment. And, you know, you could tell when a person has a good heart, because what's meant for the heart receives it. And the children did receive it, and the families did too. So he will definitely be missed, and God's blessing as, you know, people deal with this loss, that only the memories can replace your pain at this point in time. But he was a good person, and he will definitely be missed as a vessel in this community.
Thank you so much, Marena. That was beautiful. Others? I see Cynthia Jordan.
Oh yeah, I just want to thank T-Bone's wife, Shanell, for joining us on the Zoom meeting. Been trying to get in touch with you, but I got it together now. So Robert will tell you how we're going to present the certificate to you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. We're keeping the space open. If anyone wants to share, I know sometimes it's hard and emotions are high, but please, if you have something you want to share, please do.
Hi, I'm Lamarjiana Williams. I just wanted to say thank you guys. And my dad was a very great man. And it's not the time to be, you know, sad and emotional. I know how he got took and stuff. It was very hard, but I feel like one thing we could do is just live off his dreams and what he was doing for other children and like the community and stuff. Like maybe, you know, keep that alive, keep trying to help each other, help other children be successful, help the community of Richmond. And I just say, like I said, I appreciate everybody too.
Thank you so much. You said it all, that the best way to keep T-Bone's legacy alive is through working and helping the community and helping children. That's absolutely his life's work. And I think we all can safely assume that he would love that.
Definitely.
The space is still open. Anyone who would like to share?
Hello, Robert. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to take this time to appreciate the family for being here. Appreciate the MAC for acknowledging T-Bone during this time. And I would like to request that we reach out to the City of Richmond Police to report next month on these past tragedies. Thank you.
Will do, and thank you very much, MAC member Princess Robinson. Any others? Hearing none, again, we will work to send this memorial to the family. Thank you, Cynthia Jordan, for getting information and helping set this up, and everyone else who contributed. And let's all make T-Bone proud in the way that we help the community of North Richmond. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next item. It is the presentation by the North Richmond Mobile Tool Library. Is someone here for that presentation?
Yeah, that's me, Andy Sanchez.
Hello, please proceed.
Hey, we have a PowerPoint, I believe, if we can bring that up for the Richmond Mobile Tool Library. Are we able to do that right now?
Please do. I believe that you have sharing permission.
Oh, I see. 1 second. Okay, so let me know if you guys are able to see.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So we're here today to update you guys on what we've been working on over here at the North Richmond Mobile Tool Library. Last time we were here, we were letting you guys in on a little fun survey we were doing just to get people's attention and maybe a little bit of an idea of what we were doing. What we were doing before was asking the community of Richmond to get some little input about what logo we should use. And we got a lot of people participating in that. And I think a lot of people had fun taking part in a little fun survey and just being a part of the upbringing of a project like this. The logo that they chose is, as you can see it to the right of the screen, is the yellow Mobile Tool Library truck logo that we went with. So now that we have the face of that and a little bit of something everyone agreed on and recognizes, we're moving on to this next part to where we can get a little bit of everyone's input on now the inner workings of how we're going to proceed with the Mobile Tool Library and what its attention should be most focused on. So that last survey that we did, we received a lot of good input from everybody. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. We got over 100 votes onto our logo survey. So, and that was really just testing the waters to see if how the best ways to approach the community and asking for their input. But now that that's done, we're moving on to a new project of the Richmond Mobile Library's needs assessment. And here is what we're going to do is that we're going to ask what specifically can we provide for the residents of North Richmond using a kind of service like this. It's a bit of an extension of what already exists, and that being the North Richmond Tool Library. It's already stationary, and it's a place where residents can go and rent tools for free, tools that they need for different projects that they're looking for. And what we're trying to do with this mobile tool library is make it a bit more accessible, and maybe potentially be able to bring tools and equipment to either people's homes or their project sites or wherever people need help in their projects to help bring certain ideas and projects and visualizations for the city alive. And we want to assist in people in bringing their projects to closer to reality. So what we're doing in that is that we're going around. We've created a bunch of new materials that we're going to be going around Richmond, including we're going to be hanging posters, maybe hang some door hangers. We've got stickers and all this outreach materials. They all have QR codes for people to scan and reach this new survey that we're spreading out. There's going to be door-to-door canvassing, as well as for taking part. We're actually planning on giving away certain fun prizes, some tool bags, tools as well, included with these tool bags, just to get people hopefully excited about a service like this that we're trying to bring to light. We're going to be outreaching pretty much all of July, trying to get it, grab everyone's input into something like this, to make it kind of everyone's project, and just get everyone's hands into this, into just being the best kind of thing it can be in the end. But what the survey itself includes, it's gonna have questions like this, where we're gonna be asking people if does anything come to mind when they think of future projects that they might need help with, any tools or accessories that they want to use for their project to get something going and make it easier on them and make it a dream come true. Like what kind of specific tools, any locations in mind that the mobile tool library can be placed in that would bring it close to them and easy to access, and even do weekdays or weekends work better if the hours of operation were up in the air. Which one of those would make the mobile tool library convenient to reach, including what times of day. We're asking about concerns that anyone might have, including COVID. We just want everyone's thoughts and opinions about using a free tool loan service, so people can, so anybody, like including staff or just regular residents that have an idea for the city of Richmond, any kind of beautification project that we talk about all the time in our meetings, or that we hear about in conversations from our neighbor or our friends, just anyone that wants to do something for the city, we want to be able to bring them the materials to get that started. The survey itself went live today, and we have the links here, one in English, one in Spanish, and I can also put these links in the chat for the Zoom meeting as well, so anyone can go in there and leave their piece. And as well as taking part in the survey, we do have a giveaway going on, to where if anyone that completes the survey, we are giving away some tool bags that come with tools with our little new logo on them, just for a little thank you and to taking part into something like this. But yes, that's pretty much everything we have going on right here. This is our how you can reach us via email or social media. but this is pretty much the last slide, and we were wondering if anyone has any comments or wishes to maybe take part in the survey later when they have time. We'd very well appreciate anything, any info you can give us, or any thoughts or comments. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your report, Andy. Now let's get questions and feedback from the MAC and the public. I see, and by the way, please use, if you can, your hand up option in reactions. I think that'll put you on the top so I can see it. I do see Cynthia Jordan's hand up. Cynthia, please.
Yes, Cynthia, pretty busy tonight. I did complete the survey today, and I'm looking so forward to receiving my tool bag with tools in it. That'd be cool. But on the survey, they ask you about what type of tools, and they just give you a list. But like there's a tool that I know a lot of people could use, that's the rotiller to turn the ground over. That's something a lot of people could use in order to start a project. So I think that should be added to the list or either included in the mobile tool library.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely write that down. What did you say it was called?
Rotiller, R-O-T-I-L-L-E-R, to turn the ground over. When you get ready to do a garden or plant, whatever you're gonna do, you have fresh ground to work with. You know, it's already turned over. Instead of getting out there with a shovel or a pitchfork trying to turn it over.
I got you. Thank you for that.
That's it.
Thank you. I see Leticia's hand up.
Yes, hi. I just have a question for him. Do they have like a list of the tools that they have right now or not yet?
We're actually working on something right now. I think we're coming up with a list and as well as a website to where people can go online and view our materials. I believe through the survey and maybe just accessing our social medias as well. If you get into contact with us and leave us your email, we can definitely get you the address to when that's up and running, and as well as an updated list to basically everything that's going to be in inventory and accessible that we have, as well as recommendations, just like we just had before. We're always looking for input.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Also in the chat, I see that people are requesting, please share the survey links in the chat. And then also I see MAC member Bev Scott saying that she's interested in a power washer. Okay, I see Jessica's hand up.
Hi, I'm just going to, good job, Andy. I'm Jessica and I work with Andy, and yeah, we've got all the tools in a database right now with pictures and descriptions. So once we get things a little more organized, there'll be a way that you can just go on your computer and then you can see, using My Turn, you can go in and see all the different tools that the mobile tool library will carry. So that's kind of how that'll work. And yes, to answer Beverly Scott's question, we do have a power washer in the inventory, so.
Excellent. Any other questions or feedback? Hearing none, while we have a great audience here, Andy, is there anything specific that you'd like to get back right now?
Particularly, I'd like to just again say that we're definitely looking for everyone's opinion and feedback as to if you guys have anything that comes up later as well, not even just maybe not now, but any ideas that you might have later for the mobile tool library to hear. You will, if you find us on social media, it's just North Richmond Mobile Tool Library. You can message us or email us. Just get into contact with us, and we're always looking for new ideas or maybe just regular comments and as to what the mobile tool library can provide for the residents of North Richmond. Being a resident here myself, and I grew up here, lived here my whole life, I know that beautification to our community is always a topic that comes up over and over. So being able to work on a project like this and get it going, I feel like a lot of good can come from it, especially with the accessibility that it gives anyone that lives here just a chance to work on something that they think can benefit everyone around them. So just any ideas that you have, we'll be happy to hear them now or later. And that's pretty much it.
Can I say something, please? This is Eleanor.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, thank you for having the tool over in North Richmond, good resources for the community. Have you guys started using the gas equipment yet? Because when we were working before and we needed to use some tools, they didn't have gas, they only had electric. Do you have gas or like lawnmowers or weed eaters that run by gas, or are they all electric?
But by what my knowledge, I believe everything's electric right now.
Okay.
I think there might be gas on the way, but that I'm not sure about.
Okay.
Jessica would know more about that.
Yeah, we're not, I think there's safety issues with having gas, driving around with gas powered tools. There's liability issues. So we only have electric. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that sounds about right. The safety for the people. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I see Berta Alvarez's hand up.
Yes, hi. I'm sorry, I didn't know anything about this mobile tool. So how this works? Is this something you can borrow for a day or two and then return it with a fee or no fee, or how that works?
Yeah, this service the goal is to let people borrow different kinds of tools that we're pretty much gathering from all sorts of categories. So it's for anyone to use. If we have the tools that you need, you can rent it out for free. And we just, I believe we're in the middle of working on how long these tools are able to be out, or just working with whoever rents them. Just let us know how long you're looking to rent them for. But a lot of this comes from the survey, which we have going out right now, which is why we're doing it in the first place, is because we want the community's input in how a service like this would be working once it gets working. Basically, we're looking for what conveniences everyone to make this the most accessible service to you. But yeah, we're like I said before, this is why we want everyone's comments and questions like that, so we can get a conversation going with the citizens and within ourselves on how the operations of the mobile tool library functions. But yeah, it is a free tool loan service in general, and yeah, that's basically everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or feedback? I see Cynthia Jordan.
Yes, I just want to ask Andy. So like Eleanor, she's working on cleaning up vacant properties and stuff like that. And all your tools are electric. Is it possible that the tool library could get a generator to use those electric tools?
Yeah, Jessica can.
Oh yeah, I'll just, Andy, I'm just stepping in because I didn't know if you knew the answer, but just to answer your question, Cynthia, we have some tools that have cords on them, so they would need to get plugged in. Then we have other tools that are run with a battery. So we would give you a charged battery, and then the tool would run without a cord.
Mm-hmm.
So. those are the two categories, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
good to
you.
know. Thank you.
Yeah, also, Andy made it sound like everybody who filled out the survey was gonna win a tool bag. But you're gonna be able to enter a raffle, and then if your name is picked, you'll win a fabulous tool bag full of tools. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, you know, I know that's not gonna happen. Everybody get a bag, but I had to put my 2 cents in and put it on your mind. Okay?
At the very least, I can hand deliver you a sticker and a little measuring tape that we're giving out too. So you can get something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any more feedback, questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll just say in answer to Berta's question, as Andy answered it so well, this is free. You can use it as long as you need it within reason. They'll get to work on those parameters, but there's ample time, there's free, and this is a great resource in the community. And most always, like I say to everyone here, let's all do our part to reach one and teach one. Tell other people that aren't in this meeting, that are in the community, that this is available. And one spot, one tool at a time, we can get more and more beautiful. Okay. With that, thanks again for your presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Let's move now on to presentation D. This is Matthew Kinney and Steve Hill from Contra Costa Fire. Are you here? Okay, they are not. And that brings us to someone who I know is here. And this is a very exciting presentation. This is Jeff Valeros from Contra Costa Public Works. And he's going to talk about some of the improvements on Fred Jackson Way. Jeff, good evening. Please give us a presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff. I am in Public Works in our Transportation Engineering Division. I came here today to give an update on our Fred Jackson Way first mile, last mile connection project, which is going to construction soon. Before I jump straight into the project schedule, perhaps it's a little fair to give a little bit of background on the project for those who may not be familiar. So the genesis of this project began with my predecessor, Mary Halley, who many of you know, but she recently retired this past March. Very happy for her. She had worked back, I believe in 2017, then with the North Richmond community to understand their mobility needs. So the scope of the project was then refined through community meetings such as this one in person, North Richmond network meetings, and greening and sustainability workshops. So the background or the project limits for this Fred Jackson Way first mile, last mile connection project are from Grove Avenue to the south, all the way to Brookside Drive to the north. I wish I had a PowerPoint. I'm a very visual person, shortcoming on my end. But the project includes widening and reconstructing of the sidewalks to remove the mobility barriers caused by those utility poles and the cracked sidewalks, curb extensions at the intersections to shorten the crossing distance for pedestrians, restriping of those existing bike lanes south of Wildcat Creek to make them buffered bike lanes, thereby increasing the safety and separation from non-motorized users with drivers. New buffered bike lanes to the north to connect to Urban Tilth Farm, separated pedestrian path north of Lucky A's baseball field so those who choose to walk can to the Urban Tilth Farm, as well as street trees for urban greening. So funding for this project was made possible through a competitive grant, very competitive one, the Active Transportation Program, which is administered through Caltrans, and that is very happy to report the $2.4 million project going to this community. So since this award, Mary, Hallie, and I have gone to the MAC to obtain their input on the types of trees in 2019. So going into the schedule for this project, the start date is July 19th, which is coming up shortly. The contractor, Gelati Brothers, will likely be starting at the Brookside Drive corner and working southbound. When work begins south of Wildcat Creek, street parking will be impacted on one side for a temporary amount of time while the sidewalks are being constructed. However, mailers should be sent out 1 week prior to this work commencing so that those can plan accordingly. I'll put this in the chat, but the resident engineer whom we hired from Quincy Engineering, Mike Haggerty, will be your point of contact if you have any questions about the scheduling and such. So I also wanted to use this opportunity to give an update on the 2021 countywide curb ramp and surface treatment projects. I believe work has already begun in the North Richmond community, but all of the curb returns, or where the intersections are, they will be upgraded to with curb ramps to meet Americans with Disabilities Act compliances. The work, I believe, began in June, and it's expected to be completed by the end of July. And then shortly afterwards, all the roads in North Richmond will be resurfaced as part of the surface treatment project. And then this work will continue through the end of October. And I will also drop the point of contact from that as well. That is Cinda Tovar in our design construction division. So I didn't need the full 20 minutes. Definitely have plenty of room for any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you so much, Jeff. That was a lot, but well told, very brief. And hey, there's a lot of good news there. So thanks so much, Jeff. We're going to get some questions and we'll be able to dive in a little more. So first off, Dr. Clark. I'm sorry, Dr. Clark, you're muted. You have to click unmute. It's okay, Dr. Clark. We'll be here for you. Perhaps you can get some assistance there to get yourself unmuted, and then we'll be here for you. Do we have other questions, concerns for Jeff?
I have a quick question, Leticia. I just have a question. So you said all the roads are gonna be paved, right? That they will be like
Resurface.
They will like
yes.
They will look like and feel like they are in a good shape, right?
Correct.
Okay, wait. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Of course.
Robert, I have a question.
Yes, please do.
So, hi Jeff, it's nice to meet you. So my question is, what's the time frame for this? When will this project be completed?
So I did kind of mention quite a few projects. The Fred Jackson Way project should start in July 19th, and I believe 65 working days. So I think we're aiming for October or fall time is when that project should be done. And then the curb ramp upgrades will be through the end of this month, through July. And then shortly after, the surface treatment will begin through all the North Richmond roads, and that'll go through October. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Jeff. Others?
And I'll be happy to leave my contact information below if anyone has any other follow-up questions.
I see a question from Berta.
Yes, hi Jeff. My name is Berta, and my question is for the wheelchair access, are gonna be done on every corner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just to recap, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking about here is every curb corner in the community is going to have ADA compliant ramps.
Correct.
Every street is going to be resurfaced.
Correct.
And Fred Jackson Way itself is going to get a major upgrade with bike and pedestrian area, sidewalks, bulb outs at some of the intersections. Is that right, Jeff?
Correct. All the intersections between Grove and Market.
So this is really tremendous. Fred Jackson Way is going to get the kind of treatment to be a first-class corridor that North Richmond deserves. And then every street, every corner in the whole community being resurfaced and new ramps at every curb. This is just, I don't know, has this ever happened before, something like this? This is really a big deal.
Yes, it is a big deal. Robert, are you able to unmute Dr. Clark? Are you able to unmute him? He had something to say, but he was muted.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. I've been asking him to be able to unmute, and perhaps his partner, his family could help him there. He needs
Earlier,
to
you said you was going to mute him. So I was just wondering if you had a connection to unmute
I'll call
him.
his wife and ask her to unmute him, okay?
Okay.
It's in the upper right corner of your screen, Dr. Clark. There should be a button that says mute. Or in the bottom left corner, there's an icon that Princess points out that says, it's a microphone that says mute. If you click that, you should be good to go. Okay, while we're waiting for Dr. Clark, I see Berta's hands up again. Berta?
I'm sorry, it was a mistake.
No problem. Other questions, concerns, feedback for Jeff Valeros?
Hey, Robert, appreciate the presentation, Jeff. Thank you. And this is really big, and we definitely really appreciate it. And I think I missed it, but was there a time frame on when we will start seeing these improvements?
So I believe the curb ramp construction throughout North Richmond already began as of June. But if we're talking about the Fred Jackson Way, and I apologize, I did kind of fold in 2 extra projects for the main part of the presentation, the Fred Jackson Way First Mile, Last Mile Connection Project. July 19th is the start date. And the contractor has indicated that they would be beginning from Brookside Drive going south towards Grove.
Thank you, Jeff. So Fred Jackson Way starts in like next week or 2 weeks from now, and it's going to go until October. So that's the big job on Fred Jackson Way. It'll be in phases. The curb ramp construction is already occurring. I saw it myself last week. They're not all being done at once. It's sort of one at a time or a few at a time. The resurfacing of the streets. I'm sorry, did you answer that question, Jeff, when that was?
I think I did not. That would begin right after the curb ramp project. So I believe at the end of July or early August is when that would begin.
Okay, so the curb ramps are going on now. Fred Jackson Way begins in a couple weeks, and the resurfacing of the streets starts soon after that.
And that's intentional because by doing the curb ramps first and then the surface treatment afterwards, we can have hopefully a very smooth, clean product out there.
Tremendous. Thanks, Jeff. Gonna give another chance. Anybody have anything to say on this?
Okay, so Henry's wife left the house, so he's unable to do us unable to speak at the moment.
If he touches his screen,
you tell him that.
Dr. Clark, if you touch your screen with your finger, sometimes that makes things show up like a small microphone in the lower left-hand corner of your screen.
Also, Cynthia, were you able to Were you able to talk to him and see what his question is?
I talked to him. His wife has left the house. So he hung up on me. I was going to ask him if he just talked to my phone. You know, I knew me and he could talk to my phone.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could get his question for him.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to him. So I'm going to call him back, okay?
Okay, please do. We'll wait.
It was already answered. Are you sure? Okay, he said he's good, Robert. Okay, he said he's good to go. His question was already answered.
Okay, well, that's good. All right. Well, last call for any questions or feedback for Jeff Valeros.
Well, maybe I should ask him about Market Street. There's supposed to be major changes on Market Street. You didn't mention Market. We talked about Fred Jackson Way and we talked about the ramps and stuff on the sidewalk. So what's with Market Street? You're gonna do the parallel parking or the parking straight into the curb, or how you gonna do that?
So last year we had pursued grant funding under the same program for a Market Avenue Complete Street project. And I did reach out to the community again just to get reaffirmation of what the priority was. And I believe parking was important for this community, and we had opted for the widened sidewalk option. Unfortunately, we were not selected for grant. We were not awarded grant funding, but we are still pursuing funds for that. And actually, I believe, fingers crossed down the pipeline, that there might be an augmentation of funds for this program. So I will definitely circle back if we are awarded, because that'd be great news to share with this community.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, basically, Market is another big project that we want to do. We've done a lot of work on the design with the community, as you all recall, and it hasn't been funded yet, but we're hopeful that that'll happen too. Right, Jeff?
Yes, we are pursuing all options to try to get better with our applications. I've met with the grantor to kind of get a sense of what kind of input would help our grant application. So we are behind the scenes trying hard to get that funding.
Okay. Well, I think this wraps up this presentation. It has been a good one. Jeff, thanks so much.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll move into other agency and program reports. First up, City of Richmond, Community Services Department. Okay, hearing none. Healthy Richmond, North Richmond Team Leader Report. Okay, hearing none, it comes to me, and I'm happy to give a report. Hi, everyone. I'll chat very briefly. You've heard enough of me tonight. What's really important that I have to share is that there's a big event coming on July 8th. That's this Thursday. And the key here is this is about community health in North Richmond. This is about COVID. We still are behind in West County in terms of vaccinations. I'm sure everyone here has had their vaccinations, myself included, but we really need to keep on reaching out to everyone else, because the more vaccinated we are, the safer we all are. And we've been able to bring more resources into North Richmond. And now there's another vaccination clinic that we have set up for July 8th at Verde Elementary School. It's going to be all day, but we do have to have people sign up beforehand by calling Marta Nieto Serrano. So I can give you all that information. I'll put it in the chat as well. But the big deal is July 8th at Verde School, free vaccines for all. So we want to do that. It's available to anyone over 12 years old. So let's go ahead and share the word. I know we all know people who haven't gotten vaccinated yet. You know, maybe they don't trust someone, or maybe they haven't had time, or they don't have insurance, or whatever. We have them here free for all, regardless of insurance or no money and immigration status. None of that matters. So it's really important that we get vaccinated so that we can stop having unnecessary deaths from COVID.
Oh, Robert?
Yes.
Yes, I was gonna add, now I know this sounds like a silly question, but has the board of supervisors thinking about having the meetings go back to being in person? What's the status on that?
That's not a silly question. The answer is yes. It's a state law situation. When the state opens up completely, we return to in-person meetings. And I believe right now the expectation is that we're going to have to meet together again beginning in September. Okay. With that, the next report is from CHDC. Is anyone here from CHDC? No. Next up is Felisa Orozco, mitigation CHDC funded mitigation programming. Felisa?
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hi.
Just wanted to share with everybody and a shout out to all the agencies involved. We had a very successful Willie Spears community cleanup on the 5th of June. We had City of Richmond and County Public Works come out and assist us with that. So thanks for everybody who participated. Next, we did have a successful cleanup also. I know it was on everybody's radar for the corner of 6th and Grove. There's a lot of trash being accumulated. So, you know, again, shout out to all the agencies that came together to address that area accordingly and get it cleaned up. We also had a task force walk in which obviously all the agencies in mitigation come together and walk a couple of streets. This past month in June, we decided to extend the amount of time we were out there and try to cover as much of North Richmond as possible. So I know the Sheriff's Department, Parking Enforcement, CHP, and Building Code Enforcement, we're all out here citing anyone outside of code and parking violations and all of that. So I was very pleased with that. We are going to increase the frequency of those walks, and we're going to continue doing community-wide walks. So instead of addressing 2 streets at a time, we're going to try to continue doing this kind of all North Richmond, as much of North Richmond as we can cover. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. Everybody is welcome to join us. What we do is we walk and obviously point out anything, whether it's housing or businesses that need to be addressed.
When is the next walk?
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry?
When is the next walk?
The next walk is on July 14th. Wednesday, July 14th, and we start promptly at 10 to about 2 o'clock.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I was going to ask Felisa, I see that it was cleaned up, and that's really wonderful that the corner of 7th and Grove was cleaned up. Is there I don't know, I haven't drove out there in the last week because I've been out of town, but is there a reason why they didn't clean all the way around that circle there? Because there was a lot of dumping. They may have cleaned it up by now, but there was a lot of dumping all the way around that circle, but the big part of it was cleaned up. So that's good to know that that was cleaned up. I went by and I saw that was cleaned up, but all around was dumping. So I don't know if they went back and cleaned that part up. And do you think that that will build up again like that? Should it be like a camera or something put there?
Yeah, it's very hard to tell. I'm like you. As soon as I heard it, actually, I think I drove by there immediately after it had been cleaned up, and it actually did look completely clean. Unfortunately, that's what we have identified as a hotspot area.
Yeah.
And very quickly, you're right, whether it's flyaway trash or just people thinking they can dump. But in all defense, like I said, it was properly cleaned up once. It's how do we maintain the area clean? We're going to continue working with building code enforcement, who I believe is in working with the property owner, the management company, to come up with ways to keep that area clean. I agree with you.
Do you think
Robert?
that that's a spot where a camera could go, since it's such a hot spot? Because we had to clean that up many times.
Perhaps we definitely have to bring in all the agencies involved, including obviously the property owner, to get permissions. It's not just as simple as setting up a camera. But yes, all of those discussions are being, are on the table right now. And I'm sure code enforcement will continue to work with them to come up with a solution.
Okay, thank you. I thought it was county, but maybe it's not owned by the county.
No, that's private property.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
Okay, yeah, that corner was cleaned up. That property was cleaned up by the management company who owns that property. And they've cleaned it up a few times, but Felicia and I just got word a few minutes ago that somebody dumped on it within the past hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's a lot of stuff out there. So,
wow.
We will work with, like Felicia said, we will work with Public Works so that they can get in touch with the management companies. They need to really pay attention to their property, keep an eye on it, and they need to do some type of deterrent on that corner, because it's going to forever be like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, did you finish, Felicia?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that on July 14th, which is next week, we're gonna have a grand reopening of the Senior Center, the Multicultural Family and Senior Center 515 Silver.
Yes.
It's gonna go from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And we're asking everyone to come over. We're just letting people know that we are getting ready to open up. And you'll get handouts of the activities we're gonna have at the center. And there will be a hot lunch served, and we will have some fun activities, but it's only gonna go from 10 to 1. So we're inviting everybody to please come out and join in with us as we open up this center and get ready to rock and roll.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Dr. Clark, I see that you've been unmuted.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Good discussion.
Okay. With
Robert,
that,
one question, sorry, I know I'm interrupting a lot. Do you know anything about when they're going to be discussing the homes, Los Deltas homes again? When they're going to be discussing when that project is going to start? Do you know?
is that question for me?
Yes.
No, we don't know. It's still in the same holding pattern where we need to get the Department of Housing and Development to sign off on the disposition of the properties. So nothing's happening yet. We're just trying to maintain things as they are.
Thank you.
Tony is on the line.
Yeah, this is he can chime in. This is also not an agendized item. We don't want to get into it in too much detail. Tony, would you like to say anything?
I think he's having an audio problem.
Okay.
Okay.
With that, Reach Fellowship and Urban Tilth Farm Update. Okay. Well, we have covered our agenda. I'll open some space now for any other items. Cynthia?
Robert, you gonna make the announcement about myself? Remember what we discussed earlier?
I do. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
thank you.
reminding me, Cynthia. This is also good news on the front of continuing community empowerment. Our own Cynthia Jordan has been, let me pull up my file here, has been selected to serve on the board of the Housing Authority. What is that called specifically, Cynthia?
Board of Commissions.
To serve on the Board of Commissions for the Housing Authority. This is a really important post that'll allow Cynthia to help in terms of leadership and guidance for policy and housing in North Richmond. It's always important to get community members and folks who have grown up and know the community as well as possible to serve on these kinds of commissions. And Cynthia, with her background and well, let's say it like it is. Cynthia is really smart. And so
Amen.
somebody like her is really helpful. Cynthia, would you like to say a few words about your post?
Yes, I'd just like to say, when I moved out, like I said, I've been doing organizing work in North Richmond for like since the late 70s, okay? And I've been on a few boards and, you know, been involved in a lot of projects, but I moved out here to Oakley 5 years ago. And I kind of like had no intentions of coming back to North Richmond, doing anything other than doing the MAC meeting. So since I've been out here, Elizabeth Bath took an interest in me because I did a few activities out here at the housing complex that I live in. And so at first I was elected to the Residents Advisory Board. And then Beth called me and we talked about being on the Board of Commissions. So we talked about it. And good, it went through and I was surprised. She called me last week and told me I was selected to be on the Board of Commissions. So I said, oh yeah, that's really good. So I live in public housing, so I have a chance to serve in public housing. And I've never lived in public housing before. I'm 68 years old, but here I am and it's going down. And that's it.
Good
and
choice.
Tony is here. Thank you, Tony.
I think it's a good choice. They made a good choice, Cynthia. She's very out for the community, very hard. And she's not just for certain people, but she's for everybody.
Thank you so much. Any other comments?
Dr. Clark. Yeah, congratulations, Cynthia, on your appointment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can't even find the flyer for the.
Any other comments?
It's Lynn. Congratulations, Cynthia. You deserve it.
Thanks, Marina. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's up to a new adventure.
That's Cynthia is always open and willing to learn new things and take on new challenges. And that's part of why we love her so much.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or feedback on this or any other items? I do see a comment in here from someone about a sideshow on July 4th. I'm not aware of the details of that. I do know that we had a fire in the area on July 4th, and of course, a lot of illegal fireworks going on. But that wasn't just North Richmond; that was all over the area. So it was, obviously distressing for a lot of reasons, but it's unfortunately what we deal with on 4th of July. Also, it's unfortunately something that we deal with many other days of the year. And so, illegal fireworks are a menace and we have to report them when we see them.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my name is Katie Davis and I am a homeowner and business owner in North Richmond. And on 4th of July, I understand the fireworks and everything, but the sideshows on Fred Jackson and Market, I couldn't even get in my driveway. I couldn't get get in my house, period. I called the police 4 different times. They told me that someone was already being dispatched out there in the area, but they didn't come down the street to try to stop it or do anything about it. They were down the street by the senior citizen place, but they wasn't down here on Fred Jackson and Market where all the stuff was going on at. And I don't appreciate it. I mean, I understand, like I said, the fireworks, but not the sideshows. And that have to stop. And this is not the first time. They did it last year. Seemed like every big holiday come up, that's when we have all of this nonsense. And that's a residential street. And anybody can come through there, you get hit, you can hit somebody's cars, anything can happen. But for me to not be able to get in my own driveway at 11:30 at night, I can't get with that. Something has to be done. I don't know if you're gonna have to bring in the National Guard or who you're gonna have to bring in, but something has to be done about that. And can you hear me?
Yes, we heard you.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's my complaint.
Did you happen to be here at the beginning of the meeting when the sheriff was here?
Yes, but I couldn't, I didn't know how to unmute myself or whatever. That was on me.
I understand. Well, I will pass it along to the sheriff, and we have to let him know these things when we can. So thank you so much for sharing.
Okay, well, just hopefully they can do something about it. But this don't make sense.
Yes. I see 3 hands, Leticia, Linda, and Cynthia. Let's go ahead and go in that order. Leticia?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the same thing that the lady said. The corner of Fred Jackson and Market, they are really using it as for the slideshows, you know, the cars doing donuts. On Monday, I passed by and it looks horrible. You know, there were even pieces like of tires that it was like horrible thing happening there. And I think that they use that corner pretty often, especially on the weekends. So I don't know if something can be done or to prevent this.
Well,
it would be nice. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Leticia. I will say, so there's 2 things, and one of them is really good news. The first is, when you see this, let's report it to the police. And the second is that presentation from Jeff Valeros about the work on Fred Jackson Way. That's going to solve this problem at that intersection.
Do you think?
Okay.
Robert?
Yes, Cordell, please, we have a line here for people to talk.
Okay.
The next one was Linda. Is Linda still here?
I'm still here, but it's not just on straight going down Fred Jackson. It's more going towards Market, and it's going down to the vacant project houses. So that's where the sideshow, right at the corner of the church, going down to the vacant project houses.
Okay, thank you. That'll also be solved when that property is sold and it's developed. But in the meantime, we have to report it every time we see it to the police.
And but if it's reported and they're not coming out, because somebody asked the police if they were going to do something and he said, hell no.
Oh my God.
Okay, so what do you do then?
Okay, well, we got to continue to report, but also at the next MAC meeting, let's talk to Lieutenant Buford at the very beginning about this issue.
Okay.
Lieutenant Buford's a good man, and he's good at his job, and he'll be helpful. Okay, next, Cynthia Jordan.
Cynthia Jordan, I just want to say that I'm glad to hear that Katie and Linda is at the North Richmond MAC meeting tonight, and I wish you continue to support us. We're all the same age. We grew up together, went to school together, lived in North Richmond together, and you guys continue to support the MAC meeting.
Well, I do, Cynthia, but I didn't grow up with you. Y'all older than me.
Well, we are a little bit older, but not that much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next is Cordell, right? Cordell Hitler?
Yes, that's me. So I kind of agree with Miss Katie saying. I can't even get inside my house without hearing fireworks. I feel like I'm in World War II. That is horrible. I mean, because they had the same thing last year and the year before that, and I said, because one of my neighbors but one of the neighbors mentioned said that them fireworks be right down on her grass, and it was like it was like gunpowder. I said, this is a shame, and I said, because I said I was gonna be a snitching too. I would be like, shoot, because when I heard that the mayor's office was offering a $2,500 reward, shoot, you better believe I'm gonna like cash in, because this don't make no sense. Y'all gonna bring people's property value down too. It is horrible. I want to say that what I had to say.
Okay, thank
The
you,
MAC meetings.
Cordell.
I'll come to the MAC meetings more often.
Well, thank you. We'd love to have you. I see next is Jacqueline and then Felisa. Jacqueline?
So this is public comment time, right? But I also don't want to like if we're focusing on fireworks, I don't
No, we're not focusing on
Okay.
fireworks. This is open.
Oh, so my name is Jacqueline and I'm the alcohol policy coordinator for West Contra Costa. I help run a coalition that focuses on underage alcohol and marijuana youth prevention. And I just wanted to like, I was emailing you about the ordinance that they're trying to remove the board of supervisors. The ordinance is right now it like prevents the sales of vape products in Contra Costa. So right now we currently have that ordinance, and at the next board of supervisors meeting, they're gonna vote to see if they're gonna keep it or not. So I just wanted to like spread the word, and like I'm gonna post my email in the chat. The coalition is trying to raise letters of support to keep the ordinance, because the coalition is concerned with students and young people getting access to vapes, since that's currently a huge issue in the community. Like 1 in 3 of our 11th graders vape. So I'm just gonna post our social media handle and my email, and we're just trying to get letters of support and also find people to present our presentation to just like make people aware of this issue. Also, thank you for hearing me.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Next is Felisa and then Dr. Clark.
Everyone, I also posted something on the chat, but I also wanted to mention, hopefully a lot of you guys have heard, but more communications will be sent out for the open house for Heritage Point on July 20th at 11. It will be a virtual open house. So we'd like to extend the invitation for all of you to join us. I've also attached the RSVP link, and I will also send the information to Robert Rogers in case he wants to send it out as a follow-up as well and share it with everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Felisa. Dr. Clark?
Yeah, thank you. I would like to request that we close our MAC meeting out in honor of the gentleman that Cynthia said passed away yesterday. What was the name again, Cynthia?
Mr. Charles Payne.
Yeah, Mr. Charles Payne, who was well known in North Richmond and a good neighbor. And I'm really saddened to hear that he passed away, but I would like to close in his honor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Clark. The answer is yes. And with that, Cynthia, did you want to say something also in closing us out in honor of Mr. Payne?
Well, I just say Mr. Payne was a good man. He was friend to everybody. Mr. Payne didn't turn anybody down. And a lot of people depended upon Mr. Payne for this or that. And like I said, he had 2 tow trucks, and you know, your car break down, you didn't have tow service. Mr. Payne come get you any time of day, any time of night. He was very lenient with his finances and everything. And one of OG North Richmond, one of the old ones. He's probably in his late 80s, if not 90. but he was a very good person. A lot of people depended on Mr. Payne.
Beautiful. Dr. Clark, Cynthia, the rest of the MAC and the public, thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you for honoring Mr. Payne and closing this meeting.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, see you, Robert.
All right.